What's going on, everybody? It's your observant lineman, Uche Nwaneri, and today we are going to talk about a story that just broke. I'm sure that many of you have heard of it since it broke, but Quinton Dunbar and Deandre Baker, two defensive players in the NFL, two young players in the NFL, are currently wanted by Florida authorities for armed robbery. Now, this story gets a little bit tricky, gets a little bit weird. There's some things that, as a player who's been involved in situations where guys are, playing cards, guys are gambling, guys are hanging out, these type of things that we get involved in the off season. So apparently, Baker and Dunbar were at a cookout. They had been gambling, playing card games or video games, whatever it may have been. These guys were gambling, and apparently on the day before the alleged robbery, these guys had lost a combined total of around $70,000. Now, look, I've been in situations where you gamble with guys, you lose money, you go back and forth. This is something that I wouldn't say is totally uncommon. I think a lot of players do actually get involved in little card games and stuff like that on downtime, right? And so with this situation, it's I'm looking at it from the angle of I've been there before, sort of. But these guys lost $70,000 and then come back the next day, and after an argument, apparently they decide that they're going to rob all of the guys or all of the people that they'd been playing cards with, I guess, the day before. And they apparently stole a number of different watches, some cash, and made off with 3 strategically placed getaway cars that allowed for an immediate exit from the scene, according to police. This is crazy. This is crazy in a sense that in what day and age would you think that by pulling out a gun, and if I didn't note before, these guys had a semi-automatic, well, at least Deandre Baker had a semi-automatic pistol, is what they're saying. But, these guys stuck up a cookout / card game. And, in what day and age, as a football player, as a professional athlete, would you think that it would be something you could get away with and there would be no report made to the police? I mean, you can't fix stupid, but that just kind of goes beyond it right there. These guys thought that they could go into a situation like this and come out unscathed. Well, it looks like now there are arrest warrants out for them. And again, I have been in those kind of environments where you play games. I think a lot of guys have been. I mean, you show up to a spot, and this is just kind of me going back in time here. I used to have an office behind one of my businesses where I kind of would, hang out with guys when I would be in town in Atlanta in the off season, and we would play cards. We would shoot dice. We would play video games. It'd be an all day thing. We kind of sit in there and, everybody's got some cash on them. Everybody's got, everybody gets themselves a little tab. And, there were games that we would play where, you win a ton of money some days, and then other days you lose some money. I know, for instance, for me in one situation, I ended up winning $70,000 in blackjack, and the guys that we were playing with, these guys were just, street dudes. They did their thing in the streets, and they made their money how they made their money. I don't know, but they loved sports, and they loved hanging out with athletes, and they loved just kind of being around us, and we had fun with it. And there was always these kind of unwritten rules, and I think that it's kind of similar to maybe what these guys were expecting dealing with these NFL players, was that, one, nobody brings any weapons to this. It's gambling. If you don't have money to gamble with, then just don't gamble. If you're gambling and you lose your money, then you guys can talk about, setting up some kind of tab where you'll bring X amount of money by this time, and then, maybe you get a discount on the rest. You don't have to pay everything up if it's such a large number. I mean, there have been times where guys have been down, 40, 50,000, and the guy who's owed the money will just say, hey, look, give me 35 and, we'll call it. and it's not, you don't have to worry about paying out the rest. So there are situations where it plays out like that, but it's never a situation where guys let things go into, kind of a heated personal territory where now you've got guys who are mad because they lost and feel like they, got cheated or something. And so now you've got a situation where guys are holding up the game, guys are robbing the game. And, it's weird. I just never thought that I'd picture or I'd actually read about players themselves. Usually it's the other way around. Players won a ton of money and then they get robbed by the people they're hanging out with. But in this situation, you've got players who are, NFL players who make plenty of money on a daily basis or on a yearly basis. And it just doesn't make much sense that they would be the ones to rob, the cookout, rob the card game. I mean, it kind of flies over my head. I can't understand how that became the final, solution to what they were trying to do. You lose your money, you come back the next day, you try to win some back. If it goes south from there, you back out, you pull out, because who wants to lose all their money? Again, if you're gambling, if you're out there hanging out, gambling with people, you gamble because you have the money to lose. You don't gamble if you don't feel like, you're going to be able to handle losing your money. And I feel like as competitors, yeah, we want to win all the time. I'm sure that competitive nature is partly what drove some of the frustrations that they were having with losing all that money. But again, it boils down to the simple fact of once you pull a gun out and decide you're going to take all your money back or take whatever they have, you're now crossing a line that you can't turn back and go back across. And that's dealing with the law. That's going to put you in the sights of the law. And of course, that's going to jeopardize everything that you've worked for up to this point. But let me know what you guys think. Leave your comments down below. Hit the like button and subscribe to the Observant Lineman Uche Nwaneri. Appreciate you guys for checking out this quick video, quick commentary reaction to what's going on with Deandre Baker and Quinton Dunbar. I will catch you all on the next video. Peace.